Chapter 176, Physical Signs 1. And Zhaoxu's sudden appearance and acceptance of the challenge surprised and shocked everyone in the arena. It was as if a huge lightning bolt had exploded on the internet. Previously, they had criticized Zhaoxu's for not accepting the challenge on Weibo. Some apologized, while others were criticized. However, they instantly sided with Zhaoxu. And Zhaoxu did not explain what she had just said, but there was one sentence that was very accurate. If you want to fight, you have to go through official channels. After all, Haruji had come with the India sector's exchange delegation team and had a special identity. What was the meaning of a private challenge? What if there was an accident? What if there were deaths? In just one sentence, she had revealed that Haruji was dishonest. It was too sneaky of him to only challenge her through the special Weibo circle without going through official channels. For a moment, many netizens understood. And Zhaoxu did not respond because, firstly, Zhaoxu was really busy. Secondly, Haruji came with the exchange team, so Zhaoxu could not respond. However, since Haruji had dared to mention this in the battle arena today, Zhaoxu had taken the opportunity to accept the challenge, there was no such problem. Now, the key was whether Haruji dared to fight or not. Actually, at this moment, Haruji no longer cared about the comments about being sneaky and shameless. He was thinking about something. How should he fight? What was Zhaoxu's current strength? Haruji had never considered not fighting. Everyone could pretend that they did not see him showing off on Weibo. Now, when he spoke as the official teacher in charge of the India sector's exchange delegation team, he mentioned challenging Zhaoxu. However, Zhaoxu accepted the challenge. If he did not dare to fight, he would probably not be able to return. On the way back, he would be treated as a disgrace to the India sector. However, Zhaoxu's silver hair and her ability to travel through the air just now made Haruji a little flustered. He could also travel through the air, but it was definitely not as easy as Zhaoxu. This had something to do with mind power. To put it bluntly, the stronger one's mind power was, the easier it was to travel on air. Most importantly, she had silver hair. Upon closer inspection, Haruji realized that Zhaoxu's long silver hair was not dyed. It was her real hair color. This involved a very serious problem. The process of genetic mutation or evolution would bring about some external changes to the body's characteristics. Usually, the more obvious the external changes brought about by genetic mutation or evolution, the stronger the ability. This was the problem that Haruji was worried about. If that was the case, Zhaoxu's current strength might have improved greatly, compared to when she fought with him more than half a month ago. That would not be good. Haruji, who had deliberately challenged Zhaoxu because she was injured, instantly lost 1,000 points of confidence. Of course, worries and doubts were worries and doubts. Haruji, however, could not hesitate. At this moment, if he cowered just a little, he would immediately become a disgrace to the India sector. He would definitely disappear on the way back. Ha 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 ha. Haruji first let out a long laugh. Professor Ann came at the right time. I even said that I was about to go home with regrets. I didn't expect that I would be able to fight Professor Ann to my heart's content. Alright, let's fight now. How about hat? Of course. Zhaoxu's answer was straightforward. However, in the current situation, the two of them could not fight immediately. One was the youngest professor in the New India Genetic Evolution College, and the other was the youngest professor in the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. Of course, there was still a huge age gap. For example, Haruji, although he was the youngest professor in the New India Genetic Evolution College, he was already 33 years old. And Zhaoxu was the youngest professor in the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. However, it was said that she was only 26 years old. But no matter what, this battle had become a semi-official battle. The staff of both the Wuxia and India sectors immediately started discussing this matter. At the leader's seat, the principal of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College, Wen Xinglin, and the vice chairman of the Genetic Research Institute, Lu Guangqing, looked at the silver-haired Zhaoxu in surprise. Her physical signs are obvious. Did she evolve? Did she break through from the mutant realm to the evolution realm? Lu Guangqing stared at Zhaoxu's long silver hair. He could sense the faint mental fluctuations emanating from Zhaoxu's body from afar. His eyes flashed. A little, but I'm not sure. When Xinglin shook his head and asked Wei Dejiang, the deputy dean of the Mystery Branch Academy, who was sitting in the row behind him. Old Wei, you are closer to the Research Institute number 14. Do you know the situation? I'm not sure. Wei Dejiang shook his head, but she shouldn't have evolved. 3 weeks ago, she had just been certified as a level B genetic mutant. She hasn't reached the level of a genetic mutant yet. She shouldn't have broken through to the evolution realm so quickly. Since it's not, it should be a genetic mutation. Long silver hair. I remember that there are no records of this in the known genetic mutation characteristics. Is this the new genetic mutation direction that the Research Institute number 14 has developed? Lu Guangqing's expression suddenly changed drastically. It's possible, but it might also be the accumulation of the Research Institute number 14. Their lineage has always been a little ahead of the times and strange, the principal Wen Xinglin said with a smile. Lu Guangqing's expression darkened. Actually, this was also the real reason why he had been coveting the equipment at the Research Institute number 14. That set of equipment was too valuable for research. Shang Long had gotten this set of equipment from the intergalactic battlefield back then. Therefore, it was extremely difficult to obtain the same equipment again. It felt so wasteful in Zhaoxu's hands. It seems that I have to speed up the progress of the matters regarding Research Institute number 14. I have to hurry both internally and externally. As he pondered, Lu Guangqing had an idea. Zhu Tui quickly ran to the edge of the arena in the inner area. Miss An, is your hand injury better? Also, why did your hair turn silver? Zhu Tui asked immediately. And Zhaoxuui waved her bandaged finger at Zhu Tui, indicating that she had almost recovered. It doesn't affect the battle. We rarely use our hands in the battle of the Mystery Branch. What about the silver hair? What happened? Are you all right? Zhu Tui asked anxiously. And Zhaoxuui glanced at Zhu Tui when she heard that. The slight unhappiness she felt when she saw Zhu Tui resting his head on Gong Ling's thigh instantly disappeared. Actually, even Zhaoxuui herself did not realize this. There were too few people in the School of Enlightened Mind. It was so few that most of the classes were conducted by Bian Yuan, and Zhaoxuui only occasionally attended a class. Basically, Zhaoxuui stayed in the Research Institute number 14 all year round. There were even fewer people in the Research Institute number 14. There was only Zhaoxuui and an advanced artificial intelligence. It had been like this ever since Zhaoxuui took over the Research Institute number 14. As a result, Zhaoxuui did not notice the changes in her mentality after Zhu Tui joined the Research Institute number 14. Of course, it was not clear if Huang, the advanced artificial intelligence, had noticed it. This is a sign of a genetic mutation. It doesn't affect the body. You might do the same in the future. Let's talk about the details later, Zhaoxuui said. Zhu Tui nodded. Then, he glanced at Haruji and asked nervously, Miss An, are you confident? Zhaoxuui ignored Zhu Tui when she heard that. She stared at Zhu Tui in disdain and raised her head. She was as proud as a phoenix. Zhu Tui, aren't you underestimating your teacher too much? Zhu Tui, who understood what Zhaoxuui meant, was speechless. Then, he found an angle and took a picture of Zhaoxu's back. He casually posted it on Weibo. My teacher, Zhaoxuui, will definitely win. Take a guess, will Haruji? As soon as he posted on Weibo, comments flooded in. He will be killed 30 times. 30 times was not enough. 300 times. More like 3,000 times. Plus 99999. After an emergency discussion between the India sector and the Wuxia sector, they agreed to carry out the challenge now. The combat rules were the same as the students' combat exchange. The only thing that needed to be changed was the referees on duty. Actually, even if the working group did not mention this, Ku Qingshan and He Kai would not dare to continue being the referees. The two of them were indeed very strong, but they were not strong enough to be the referees for the match between Zhaoxuui and Haruji. They could not intervene effectively at the critical moment. Soon, the India sector sent out a thin old man named Prav. He was very thin. but his eyes were especially bright. He was a senior consultant and honorary vice captain of the India sector's exchange delegation team. He was also an elder who had reached the genetic mutation realm a long time ago. The way Prav appeared was slightly shocking. When he learned that he would be the referee on duty, Prav did not move. He just floated up from the leader's seat. Yes, floating, not flying. Like a cloud with power, he slowly floated to the judge's seat in the India sector. The original referee of the India sector, Hikai, quickly gave up his seat. After Prav landed on the referee's stand, Hikai knelt down and kissed Prav's feet before retreating. Clearly, Prav had a high status in the India sector. Haruji, who was in the ring, quickly walked to the bottom of the referee's seat and bowed to Prav. After Prav nodded, Haruji returned to the center of the ring. The duty referee of the India sector was in place. The referee on duty in the Wuxia sector was still asking the principal, Wen Xinglan, for instructions. In a battle between someone at Zhaoxu's level and Haruji's level, only an expert at the genetic mutation realm could effectively intervene. Old Wei, why don't you make a trip? Wen Xinglan smiled and looked at Wei Dejiang, the vice principal of the mystery branch. Although Wei Dejiang was like a kind old man now, he was also an influential figure back then. He had relied on his outstanding strength to become the executive vice principal of the Mystery Branch Academy. I'm already an old man, but you still won't let me off. However, you're the principal. I'll go. Wei Dejiang laughed. Wen Xinglan smiled and nodded. Wei Dejiang understood what he meant. Only old Wei could reassure him. Wei Dejiang stood up and instantly flew diagonally into the sky. He made a beautiful turn and landed steadily on the judging panel of the Wuxia sector. Ku Qingshan nodded slightly and left the arena. This should be a very exciting battle. It's usually difficult for all of you to see a battle of this level. Just wait and see. Wei Dejiang laughed loudly and suddenly asked the ring and Zhao Saxui, Haruji, are you two ready?